What's up, guys? Ron Harris here. We're 9 days out from the next big men's open show, the Detroit Pro, put on by Hostile Supplements and Fouad Abiyad Media. Before we get into some of the front runners, I want to let you guys know some great news. Check this out. This is from the Detroit, their Instagram, Detroit Pro _am. Yes, it is a free live stream, guys. 100% free. I love free. It's my favorite thing. It's going to be on two different channels. It's going to be in the Fouad Abiyad Media channel on YouTube for free. It'll also be in a private site provided to you by Center Podium, and it's going to be shot by Gilco Productions. Gilco is amazing. Crystal clear, 4K. It's just as, I say, if you're not going to be in the first 10 or 15 rows at a show, you really should just watch it on Gilco footage because it's like being in the first few rows. So that is awesome. Big props to Fouad for doing that. Also, he's doing, again, the Memorial Awards. So these are different awards for the athletes. The Luke Sandell Most Muscular, the John Meadows Most Shredded, and the Cedric McMillan Best Poser. Those will all carry $2,500 each, in addition to whatever the guys make from the prize money. If they don't make any actual prize money from placing, they might win one of those. So good on you guys. So let's take a look, guys. The front runner at this point has to be William Bonac, the Conqueror. He was 5th place at the Arnold Classic. He's been a 2-time Arnold Classic champ in the past. He was 2nd place at the Olympia back in 2019 to Brandon Curry. Still going strong at 42 years old. We'll look at updates of all the guys in a bit, but William Bonac looking great here at the Arnold just a couple weeks ago. So there's 4 weeks between shows. That's not too much time. It's enough time to hold on to a peak without losing fullness and over dieting, things like that. But it's actually going to work to the advantage of some other people, I think. A couple other guys we're going to talk about in a bit here. So William Bonac, I don't see this as being as strong a lineup. It's Pittsburgh, obviously. Pittsburgh has a $100,000 cash prize. It's also taking place in Jim Mannion's hometown, and they're putting it on, the Mannions. So obviously that's a show that more people want to compete in, both for the money and the prestige, and of course, sort of as a way to pay tribute to the man who's the president of all this, our supreme overlord, Jim Mannion. So yeah, that's going to be a crazy lineup, but this lineup's looking pretty good too. William Bonac's going to be there. Who is going to challenge him? That's what it comes down to. Can anybody challenge William for this win? Right now, nobody that's in the lineup that we know of that's been confirmed has beaten him in the past, as far as I know. I don't think any of these guys have. Not to say that they couldn't. There's actually a guy from UK that some of you might be familiar with. I'm going to talk about here in a second, named Sas Harati, who we did see him last year. He actually was competed in the same show that William won last year, the Empro Classic in France. So the top 4 in that show last summer in France were William Bonac, Behruz Sabani, Michael Krizanek, and he was 4th place. He has also been 2nd place at the Cal Pro a couple times, 6th place in New York Pro. So let's take a look at Sas. Sasan Harati. Sas turned pro 10 years ago at the British Championships. I saw him compete when he did New York Pro back in 2018, was it? Yeah, 2017. So he got 6th place. He was coached by Chris Aceto at the time. This is from last summer. So this is we'll look at recent updates on all the guys, but this is fairly current footage because this was just last summer. And I don't see too many weaknesses in this guy's physique. He's a shorter guy like William, like a lot of the open pros are shorter guys. There's not many tall bodybuilders, guys, if you don't know that. But you can see the condition was pretty darn good. He had to stand next to guys like Behruz Tabani, whose condition is just insane. But he held his own. He was 4th place here. Thick, dense, round, not lacking anything. That's his best shot, I think, that hand on hip most muscular. So Sas Harati. Of course, we have also from the UK, the Shed, James Hollingshead. And I heard some chatter. There's always people making crazy statements. They're saying he's a hostile athlete. Fouad Abiyad owns Hostile, and he has athletes like Samson Dowda, Mr. Olympia, on the team, and James Hollingshead is another one. they were saying James would probably win this because he's a hostile athlete, which is silly. Very, very, very silly thing to say. Sponsorships, I think, in the past might have played a bigger role than they do these days as far as the judges and what they do with these guys and the placings. I believe years ago they did influence the placings at times. I don't think that's the case anymore. So James Hollingshead, we'll look at updates, current updates on all the guys. But this was the Arnold Classic 2.5 weeks ago. He was 8th place there out of 11 guys. So, placing didn't really reflect how good I thought he looked. I mean, 11 guys, and only a couple of them I thought were really subpar looking. James brought a really good package. Maybe not as sharp as he had been at the Arnold the year before, where I think he was 5th place the year before. But Shed, who has a baby on the way, I wish him the best. He's a very, very hard training guy, super strong, humble, hard work, that British hard work ethic that we've all come to know, going back to Dorian Yates and other fine champions from the United Kingdom. Looking great, James. We'll look at updates. Get your comments in a second, guys, after I run through this. Carlos Thomas Jr. So when I was watching the Arnold live stream with you guys, and by the way, we're going to do a watch party for the Detroit Pro. So when I was watching Carlos here, I was thinking he looks about 4 weeks out. Condition was not where it needed to be, which is why he ended up 9th place out of 11. I think he beat Patrick Moore and he beat Justin Rodriguez, the only 2 guys he beat. But had he been in much sharper condition, I think he would have placed higher. I think that's safe to assume. And he's had 4 weeks with his coach, Patrick Tour. Patrick is an excellent coach. I've seen him do amazing things with many athletes over the years. So I don't really doubt that he can pull it off and get Carlos into really great condition. Have not seen updates, but sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's best. I actually prefer when guys don't do updates every day and then they show up looking fantastic, because you're really surprised and wowed and you're like, wow, geez, this guy really pulled it out. Whereas if you saw how great they were looking, there's no surprise factor, there's no anticipation. But Carlos, I've known him for years. I've known him since he was an amateur, and I'm always rooting for Carlos. Before we go to the updates of the guys, let's go to the men's physique. Classic physique. By far, the favorite has to be this guy, Matt Grego. So Matt took 3rd place at the Arnold Classic in classic physique behind Mike Sommerfeld and Logan Franklin. Last year, he won the New York Pro. He won the Tampa Pro. He was top 10 at the Olympia. And you might know he trains with a guy named Derek Lunsford. That's his training partner. I think Derek has a couple training partners. But Matt, taller guy. I believe he's about 6 foot. Young guy. I think he's only about 26 or 27. He has improved dramatically over the past couple years. When he first came on the scene, I thought he had potential if he could fill out. Because I think when he started competing as a classic pro, he had something like 12 or more pounds to go to get to the limit. And he has to be right at the limit now. You guys can correct me because some of you guys follow individual athletes a lot better than I do. But Matt would definitely be the favorite because we know Sommerfeld's not in the show. He's probably not doing anything until the Olympia, would be my guess. Logan does have to compete somewhere, but on a podcast he did with Honey Rambod about a week and a half ago, did indicate that he wouldn't be competing anytime soon. So expect him to come back at some point before the Olympia and do win a show and qualify. But we also have Wesley Vissers there. Now, Wesley, kind of a letdown. I was hoping Wesley was going to do better at the Arnold because he was a defending champion. He won the Arnold last year and the Arnold UK. Surprised everyone. He looked fantastic. What does he need to do? I think he just needs more legs. Upper body's fantastic. Condition is off the chain. But those legs need to come up. He's a taller guy. He's really tall. He's about 6'3". Even by normal human standards. I mean, for a bodybuilder, 5'11" or 6 foot is pretty tall, but 6'3", you're up there, dude. You are way up there. Very, very symmetrical physique. It reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger in a lot of poses. Great chest, delts, arms. I love the separation and detail that we see in Wesley's physique. You don't see any blurry or soft, mushy body parts. Everything is very cleanly, deeply separated, striated. You can see Arnold right there taking a little video of him. Arnold is a big fan. So I think Wesley is possible. He has Boss of Outlaw in his corner. Could he have made enough changes in 4 weeks' time to get past Matt Grego. It's kind of unlikely based on what's happened at the last couple shows, but it's not impossible. I've seen guys come back in 4 weeks' time looking pretty drastically different, I should say. So I don't think it should be. I would never say Wesley can't beat Matt Grego at this show. Anything is possible, guys, in this wide world of sports. Just comes down to who looks the best on that given day. And Wesley is capable. He did say that after this show, he is going to take time off. He's not doing the Olympia this year. So even if he qualifies, if he wins this and qualifies, it would be kind of a wasted qualification because he would need to re-qualify for the 2026 Olympia. And that's Wesley. All right, let's get to your comments, guys. That's what we're here for. Greg Church coming up very swiftly. See, yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for Wesley. I don't know either guy, Wesley or Matt, personally. I'd be very happy for either one to win. They both would love to win, but Matt's going to the Olympia, wants to go to the Olympia. Wesley has already indicated that he does not plan on the Olympia this year. So if he wins, it's kind of a waste in a sense because that's an Olympia qualification. They're not going to give it to Matt because he was second place. So Matt would still have to go on and do another show. Great photography. Hello. Detroit is a week from this Saturday. It's March 29th. And the Instagram page for it, to show you guys again, is Detroit Pro-Am. Let me show you the Instagram page. Yeah, all the info on it is there at, let's go to their homepage. It's Detroit Pro_am. Here's interesting. This is who's going to be there making the meet and greet. So if you go to the Detroit Pro, for those of you who are within driving distance, you can meet, is it 4-time Ms. Olympia now? Andrea Shaw, Mike Van Wyck, Fuad himself will be there. Martin Fitzwater, very, very hot name in the industry right now. One of the favorites for sure to win the Pittsburgh Pro coming up. Seth Ferrocci, very, very popular bodybuilder. More so thanks to his social media, his Instagram and his YouTube since he's retired from competition. Ben Chow, Ian Valliere, the retired Ian Valliere, the brother-in-law bumps. And of course, Samson Dauda, 2024 Mr. Olympia. So good lineup of celebrities there that Fuad's got. Fuad has also done a pretty good job with making this a fan-friendly. Oh, sorry, I didn't put Ron Gordon in there, so maybe it's time I gave him a little love. It's another Ronald. Ron Gordon is confirmed. I should have had him on the list. He's very, very good. This was look at that. I mean, look how round and full Ron Gordon is. Big dude. I want to say he's about 6 foot or 6'1". Look at that. Look at the thickness and density on this guy. This was yesterday. So you know what? My apologies, Ron, for not having you in that initial group of guys in the Detroit Pro. I mean, I should know better. He's a Ron. But he's definitely, Mr. RPG is a front runner. Some posing. This was 5 days ago. See, most guys won't even show you their back. They only want you to see the front shots. Great V-taper there on Ronald. I think he goes by Ronald. Does he go by Ronald or Ron? I don't know. I go by Ron. Some people call me Ronnie. Usually it's people. Ronnie is usually people that I grew up with. Family calls me that. And my old friends call me that. But most people. Here's a great shot. Look at his front lat spread. Geez, that reminds me of a few different people right there. Cormier comes to mind. Geez, that's a great shot for him. And his caption is #XFrame. And I could not agree more. That is a great X frame he has with those wide clavicles, narrow waist, flaring quads. Ron Gordon. Yeah, Ron, my apologies, man. I should have had you in the preview right away. Well, I'm glad I found it. Look at that. Yeah. So you know what? I think he's probably going to beat a couple of names we just covered. Ronald Gordon. Good stuff. Look at that. That's not, are those tattoos or is that hair on his chest? I can't really tell, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, so Ron Gordon. Let's go to this video at a weird angle. What show was this? Not really sure what show this was, but he looked fantastic. I've seen him at shows like the Tampa Pro. I'm very sure I've seen him at a past Tampa Pro. Yeah. Ron Gordon looks great. And you guys might have some other people that are in the show that I don't even know about yet. And feel free to let me know, because I don't always get it right, as a lot of you know. Oh, look like Sid's going to be the master of ceremonies. Good job. Sid does a tremendous job. What's Sid's real full name? Farouk? Sid Farouk. That's a posing clinic that they ran. I'll get to more comments in a second, guys. That's why I'll leave this up. Yeah, they have Martin, because Martin was a winner last year, and Good Vito was a runner-up. And there were rumors going around that Vito was doing the show, and so far we haven't heard anything. Yeah, 9 days. James needs to control that midsection. Yeah, I mean, almost everybody needs to control their midsection. Very few guys, if they relax their midsection, would not have what we call a gut. So it's very important as they practice their posing that they keep the midsection sucked in and tight and as small as possible. James isn't with Hostile. Who's James with? Okay, my bad. James is too smooth. James with ESN, the mass. So ESN is the big European supplement company that made the free live stream for the Arnold Classic possible. Patrick, the guy who lied about Milos not coaching him, did he? I don't know. So much drama. Matt has an incredible physique. Would love to see Wesley really push him. I agree. I think both guys have fantastic physiques, and they're both taller guys, so it's a good matchup. Grego's right around 6 foot. Wesley, at least 6'2". I feel like he's closer to 6'3". Upper body is just insane. Leave a like for Ron. Thank you, Jack. Wesley's legs so skinny on Arnold 25. I think he was sick week before the show. Yeah, I mean, but I still agree that if they were much bigger, it wouldn't matter if they flattened out a little. They wouldn't look that bad. He needs to take a real off season and get those legs much bigger and thicker and fuller. People are saying Wesley needs to move to open. I disagree. I think he's perfectly suited for Classic. He just needs to bring those legs up. But they were good enough to get him the Arnold Classic title last year and the Arnold UK title. So, you know, they're not horrible. Oh, yeah. So he got sick. I mean, these things happen. Your immune system is weakened when you're really, really lean. You're much more susceptible to catching things. Lane is going to be on stage. Who's Lane? I don't know who Lane is, Jack. Can you help me out here? How much extra weight does Andrew Jack need to be competitive with Olympia for top 3? I think he only needs a few pounds, honestly. What do you believe, James Hollingshead? Weak points of body was he need to grow to get on top 5, 6? All right, well, let's take a look at him posing. So he's all set with legs. Legs are awesome. I don't think it's a matter of individual body parts per se. I think it's a structural thing that hurts him. He doesn't have that really pronounced natural V taper that people structurally who have very wide clavicles and very narrow hips, they have without doing a damn thing. Once they start putting muscle on, it becomes that much more dramatic. But, James has added a ton of muscle to his frame, but he doesn't have very, very wide clavicles or a very narrow waist. He doesn't have narrow clavicles or a wide waist, but we're talking about the most genetically gifted human beings pretty much on earth when we're reviewing the top bodybuilders at this level. Pretty damn good lat spread. I don't think he has weak body parts. I love his side shots. Look at the hams there. Look at that tricep. I love how full and round his tricep is in that side tricep shot. I think maybe a little more chest, a little more. I think I look at most guys and say they could use a little more upper chest. His chest isn't bad. Yeah, I just think it's a structural thing. He's got a little bit longer torso, and again, the waist isn't super narrow, but he's done very well. Like I said, he was top 5 in both of those shows last year, the Arnold USA and the Arnold UK. So not that bad. He's not bad at all. All right. Should Patrick Moore lose weight and compete in Classic? No. If he already looks kind of lanky compared to the thicker guys, so if Patrick Moore lost muscle intentionally, and he would need to lose a significant amount, I think for his height, I'm guessing he would have to come down 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds to make weight at his height, because he's a tall dude. He's about 6'1". I don't think he would look good at all if he did that. He would lose a lot of the fullness and roundness that he has. So, his only option would be just get bigger, I guess. But seeing Nick update, well, we're not talking about Nick yet, but yeah, I have seen the Nick updates and he is looking massive. Love to see Sasso in Detroit. Phenomenal physique. Yeah, I'd sort of forgotten about him. I know he did. Sasson did compete last year. But, that was over in France. I wasn't there, obviously. But I'm a fan of this guy. I'm a fan of Sasson. I've only seen him compete that one time when he did the New York Pro. But, underrated. I don't know why he's sort of taking time off training or competing, I should say. Because we haven't seen a lot of this guy over the past few years. I don't know what was going on. Life happens. Things happen with people's lives where competing might not be their priority. Will Big Ramy come back and compete? I don't think so. Will Sam Sulek perform well in open division? I don't think so. He would need a lot more mass to do that. I'm not saying this to you directly, Trailblazer, but a lot of Sam's fans, they're fans of his personality, and he seems like such a cool, charismatic guy, young guy, humble, hardworking, smart, well-spoken, and he's got a lot of size for social media, for a gym, and he was good enough to turn pro at a weak pro qualifier. For those who think he's going to win the Classic Physique at the Arnold next year, they're on all kinds of crack. Genetically, he just doesn't have a really good structure for definitely not for Classic. For Open, he would need a lot more size, so he would need to take off. I don't know. He needs like another 20 pounds at least before he would do any damage as an Open Pro. I think more like 30. So how long would it take him to put on 30 more pounds of muscle? At least a year, probably more like 2 years. So Cito said yes on RX Muscle. Yes to what was the question? What was the question there? Was that about Good Vito? I don't know. Ian Valier, will he be on stage? Oh, no. Ian's retired. He's just going to be there. He's kept up his mass pretty well, even though he claimed he wasn't going to try to. But I don't think he's lost much size since he retired. What's up, Kalyan Krishna? Patrick Moore is making a real mockery of himself. Well, I mean, he threw his coach under the bus. He blamed Chris for Aceto for having him on diuretics all week leading into the Arnold. And I don't know. I don't know if Chris ever responded to that or not, but Chris is a very responsible coach. He's not about risking clients' health. I do know this because I'm a good friend of Jose's, and he was Jose's coach for years and years. And he never had Jose pushing extreme amounts of anything. I do know that. Bicep peak is all genetic, Trailblazer. You can focus on it, the mid-range of the exercises, but still, if you don't have a peak, a good example is the late Sergio Oliva, 3-time Mr. Olympia, had enormous arms, huge. This was going back to late 60s, early 70s. He had easily 21, 22-inch arms without any peak on them. They were shaped like footballs, and I'm sure he did every exercise under the sun. You either have a peak or you don't. I mean, I see little guys with, 13, 14, 15-inch arms with great peaks on them. And I see guys who have much larger arms, sometimes have zero peak. It's all genetic. Synthol curls. Synthol curls. The one bodybuilding needs to go open is Keon, in my opinion. Keon will go open. I have no doubt in my mind that he's probably going to win the 212 Olympia another, let's say 2 times. And by then, I think it's going to be so hard for him to get down to 212 pounds. I think we're going to start seeing Keon in the open. And I think he's good enough. I think he's good enough to become Mr. Olympia. I mean, we saw Hadi Choopan come up from 212 and win the Olympia. We saw Derek Lunsford come up from being an Olympia, a 212 Olympia champ, to 2 years later, he won the Open Olympia. So it could happen. It could happen. Jack Todd only at least 2 years to get top 3 spots at Open, just timepiece. Yeah, I don't think he's ready yet. It's going to take – it's going to be – he'll get to the point, Keon, where he will have to struggle so much, and eventually he's going to have to start dieting away 10 or more pounds of pure muscle mass just to get down to 212 pounds, just like Flex Lewis did. And at that point, he's going to say, F it, and he'll go open. James Physique reminds me of Branch Warren without the hardness. Yeah, they do have a lot of similarities. I see a lot of Branch in him, those monstrous legs and the very, very strong guys. No, God of Frogs. He does not. Sam Sulek does not have the frame for Classic. like I said, I think a lot of his fans get blinded by how cool of a guy he is. And, if you saw him walking around the gym, you're like, whoa, he's got a ton of mass. He dieted away a good amount of mass to make weight for Classic at these last couple of shows he did, where he turned pro in a matter of 12 days. One show and then another show 12 days later, which is a fantastic achievement. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't go up against any real stiff competition, put it that way. If you follow shows like the USA, the Nationals, the level, the depth in the Classic is much, much tougher. Sam was in classes with like 4, 5, 6 guys. At the Nationals, the Classic physique categories, he would have been up against 20 to 30 guys, and the odds of him winning would have been much, much slimmer. Let's see. Sam still going Classic. My crack. Your crack is from the best gear distributors on the net. Oh, they sell crack and gear. You're talking about. Just put Sam put pictures or videos of him next to guys like Mike Sommerfeld, Logan Franklin, Terrence Ruffin, Ramondino, Urs. They all just have these beautiful physiques with little tiny waists and super wide clavicles and round, full muscle bellies. They're not missing body parts. Like Sam really needs an upper chest. His back is not very thick. He's got a long way to go. You're saying, is Vito confirmed? Is Vito confirmed? Aceto said it. Well, then there you go. That's great. I haven't seen any recent updates, but I remember him from last year at the Detroit Pro, and he was amazing. Why did he retire so early? I think he wanted to get out while the getting was good, while he still had his health, and before he started slipping down in the placings. A lot of pros will keep going and going long past their prime, long past the point where they're able to win shows, and you start to see muscle tears and loose skin, and they're losing body parts. Sometimes their legs are starting to really fade away, and they keep going and going. I think he wanted to go out with his health for one thing, and before he sort of tarnished his image, because people will remember you from the way you left the sport. So if you kept hanging on, even if you were great and you used to be in the top 6, top 8 of the Olympia, and you won, I don't know, I think Ian won like 5, 6, 7 shows. If he kept going and he started sliding down the placings, and eventually he's placing 7th, 8th, 10th at second tier shows, and he can't even qualify for Olympia. I'm not saying that would have happened, but when guys do that, it really does sort of tarnish their image and their legacy, I think. So I think I give him all the props in the world for doing it. God Frogs, I do think Sam can win the Classic. They're not going to give Sam a win at Pro Classic Physique. I'm not saying that he was given a win at either of those shows, the one he did in Las Vegas or the Arnold Amateur. They were weaker shows. I didn't really have a problem with him winning. I thought at the Arnold Amateur, either one of the other class winners could have beaten him. But we'll see what happens. I don't want to write the guy off completely. So people always get really mad when I say people are 6 foot. I think he's more than 5'10". Shed sucks. Oh, this is Jack. Jack's a troll. There were 7 guys in the open, Jack, last year. Keon Structure's insane. Dorian didn't have great peak too, although his green is calling up. You don't have to have peak biceps. You think about all the great bodybuilders. Some of them had peaks, some of them didn't. It's a genetic thing. Ronnie had great peaks. Jay had pretty good peaks. Phil didn't really have peaked biceps. They were more fuller and rounder, not so much peaked. Kai had better peaks than he did. Yeah, if you think about it, not all the Mr. Olympia champs or even all the great bodybuilders had peaked biceps. Could Hadi beaten Derek at Arnold with condition from last Olympia? So could Hadi have beaten Derek at the Arnold with the condition that he had at the last Olympia? I don't think so. No. If Derek looked so the only one who would have looked different would have been Hadi if he had showed up at the Arnold in the shape he was at the last Olympia. I think Derek still would have beat him. It would have been close. It would have been very close. And I think Sam still would have been 3rd. How are you? Do you do physique reviews, critiques? Yeah, I do. Yeah. But James, when he stands next to top 5, has no chance. Guy's too smooth. He won't be able to fix that. He's not smooth. Oh, look at his updates. Let's go to see. Yeah, let's go to last update that James made, shall we? I said I would go to everyone's updates. So let's go to Shed. James Hollingshead. The pinned ones are always old, so I don't go by those. But you can see all the weights in those pictures. Jeez. So this was 2 days ago. I wouldn't call that smooth. Would you call that smooth? Looks pretty hard and grainy to me. That's one of his best poses, that clasp most muscular. In fact, he's got basically 3 different versions of it there. Yeah, condition looks right where it needs to be as far as I'm concerned. For that would have been 11 days out. Of course, we can't see the back, but let's see if his other updates show the back of the physique at all. When was this? Okay, this is 1 day ago. I think he's just going to do some rack deadlifts or something. I'm not really sure what he's going to do here. Maybe he's going to do some Romanian deadlifts. Hard to say. But very, very strong guy. Let me count the plates. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be, those are 4 20-kilogram plates, 45s, and a 20-kilogram bar. So this is 405 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is. This is a strong guy. Strong guy. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call that smooth. I've seen people a little leaner than that, sure. But no, I don't think condition's going to be off at the show. I think he'll be in good shape. Yeah. Good look, James. I want to show you Bonak's recent update. Bonak was looking pretty good, really good. Because this has kind of been going all over the place. This last update was this. That was an old one. That's an old one. This is the recent one. Okay, so that was 1 week and 6 days out. So this is a little under 2 weeks out. Let's see, the glutes are in. Back shots. See, a lot of guys won't post back shots in their updates because the back usually doesn't look as lean as the front. He's not afraid. He's not afraid. Yeah. Let's see. Let's leave him up there for a second. This was 2.5 weeks out from Detroit. Okay. Keon versus Derek. I think you'll see that in about 2 or 3 years. We're not there yet. Keon will coast through the 212 division for at least 2 or 3 years unless Sean dials 100%. Yeah, it would be hard. It would be hard for Sean to beat Keon. Keon is just the shape and the structure of those round, full muscle bellies. Sean's no slouch, guys. No slouch at all. But Keon, genetically, he's just damn near perfect. The shape and the structure and the round muscle bellies. Sean has no chance of being Keon unless Keon comes in off. I mean, yeah, I could agree with that. And I love Sean. No diss against Sean. If it was on a lot of crack, we said Chris would spank Arnold had he competed in the 70s. Well, if Chris Bumstead, as he looks now, would have gone back and competed against Arnold in the way Arnold looked in the 70s, I think maybe he would have had a good chance of beating him, yeah. I prefer Bibles with peak, don't you, Ron? I mean, yeah, it's visually it's cool to see that. Just like there's certain things that you don't see on everyone, like cross-striated triceps, that you don't see that very often at all. But to me, that's very, very impressive. Cross-striated quad, same thing. Really good quad sweep, which not everyone has. That's a genetic thing. I like to see that. Who's Jack Eagles? I have no idea who Jack Eagles is. Who's Jack Eagles? Look online. Patrick Moore is listed 5'10", 5'11", not 6'1". Okay. So what? Do I mail you for critique? I think super chats are enabled. I think. Yeah, you can email me. rharrismsl, Verizon.net. Put it up there for a second. Just going to put my email up here for him. Okay. So that's my email. If you want to email me, rharrismsl, Verizon.net. You can also get me at Ron Harris Muscle on Instagram. Either one, message. I'll get both of those. Back to your. Let's see. I was getting call to troll. Let's see. Troll was calling me a troll. Let's see, Keon, going through these. Sorry, I got lost here. You're a troll. You're a troll, 5'6". I'm 6 feet, Natty. I'm not 5'6". I'm 5'7.5". I used to be 5'8.25". Still benching 465. Good for you. 4,065 for 6 and 285 20 reps. And I'll outlive you. I don't think you'll outlive me. Saran Nick Walker is looking bonkers too. He's a former Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're not talking about Nick today though, Colleen. Let's focus on the guys doing Detroit. James is smooth on stage, others alone. Doesn't matter that much how I see him. That's fine. You have your opinion, Jack. Hakim got cheated at Arnold. He should have placed higher. I mean, he could have placed a place or two higher. It wouldn't have been much higher than he was. Do I have him loaded up still? I think this is the Olympia. Yeah, I mean, I like Hakim a lot. I like his physique a lot. But I don't think he got cheated or anything like that. It was a tough show. He could have, he ended up 7th, I think it was. Maybe he could have been 6th. I don't think. Why do I don't want to look up Jack Eagles. I'll look him up later, but I mean, I have no idea. Is he a pro or is he an amateur? I don't know. What is Bonac weighing? I'd be mistaken, but he doesn't look that heavy. I don't know. It doesn't matter what people weigh. It's all based on how you look. Brandon Curry seems to be making a comeback. Yeah, he looked pretty damn great. Curry looked really good at the Arnold. I was impressed. Let's see. He's very good. Wait. Let's see. Sam Sulek has 10 more pounds in classic. He'd also be 5 pounds leaner to gain that muscle. Yeah, I don't doubt that he can get bigger, and his condition was good. I'm just saying, structurally in the shape, that doesn't change, George. You know this. When you put on size, you're a bigger version of the same physique. So if you have a wider waist, your waist is still wide. If your clavicles aren't very wide, they're not getting any wider. Your bone structure is set in stone. It's not changing. So, I have nothing against it. I think he's great. When I'm talking about physiques, it's never personal. I might love somebody as a person, and I will rip their physique to shreds if I see a lot of flaws or something, or they come in out of shape. And occasionally there's someone who I know not to be a good person, but if they have a great physique, I'll say, what a great physique, because I'm just talking about the physique. Chris Bumstead arms are his weakest body part. Yeah. Jack Eagles up. I will look him up later. Yeah. Are you coaching any pro or amateur? I'm coaching a couple amateurs right now. Yeah, just amateurs. I've never actually coached a pro, full disclosure. If Chris was training like Arnie and the guys back then with the knowledge of, yeah, I mean, nobody would look, none of the modern guys would look the way they do now if they were training and doing everything 50 years ago, because we've come very, very far, especially with nutrition, and the way people eat now is very different from the way bodybuilders ate back in the 60s and 70s, even in the 80s. Obviously, the drug side of it has changed quite a bit since then. So, yeah, I mean, it's not fair to compare guys from those older eras, because they would be training and eating and doing the PEDs very differently if they were doing it now. Jack Eagles, I'll look it up later. Jack Eagles British. Well, now I guess I got to look at it. Is this the 19-year-old? Did I keep hearing about? Now you got me curious. Jack Eagles. It's a pretty damn great name. Well, got almost 200K followers. Okay. Oh yeah. I've seen this guy before. I didn't know him by name, but yeah, this is classic. Classic, I'm assuming. Yeah, see, look at the structure and the shape on someone like Jack, and I mean, he blows Sam Sulek out of the water. He's got much, much better shape and structure. Much. It's not even the same league. I mean, Sam couldn't beat a guy like this. And when he gets to the pros, he's going to be up against a lot of guys like this. All right, so what show was this? I don't know. Looks like he's put on a little size since this video. Lovely creature, someone says. I can't read the name of the show. What show was this? Hard to say. So this was 76 weeks ago. This was about a year and a half ago. That last update definitely looked much more impressive than this. Looking at Jack Eagles. So this is 211. He's doing the Muscle Contest Fit World Pro. I don't know what show that is. Yeah, he looks better here than he did there, for sure. He's from UK. Yeah, see, structurally, I mean, look at that V shape. I mean, Sullick doesn't have that. Sullick's like a block compared to that. Yeah, I mean, someone like that is just much, much better structurally, shape-wise. He's got that X-frame. That's what you need. You want to have an X-frame, especially in classic. All right. Let's go. Well, I looked up Jack Eagles. Thanks, guys. Email again is rharrismsl@verizon.net. rharrismsl@verizon.net. You can also get me on Instagram. It's the same as the YouTube, Ron Harris Muscle. Same as the YouTube. All right, back to the comments. Trust me. Akeem has a future. Jack Eagles. Akeem 2 is most overlooked bodybuilder today. I don't think anyone's really overlooked Kalyan. It's just there's a lot of great physiques out there. And sometimes someone gets a place that's maybe 1 or 2 spots lower than they could have gotten. I think for the most part, the judges get it right and the right people win shows. But when you're talking about 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th places, a lot of times you could sort of flip-flop those around. You could make arguments for how to shuffle people differently. Training Rewind Stream, Mr. Ron, you're one of the most unbiased journalists. I try to be. I mean, I'm sure I'm not without bias. There are times when if I know somebody very well, I tend to kind of root for them a little bit harder and, maybe overlook some of their weaker points. I try not to, though. I try not to. Sam didn't impress me that much. Yeah, like I said, he's a great kid. He's got a great career. Smart kid. He's killing the YouTube game, killing social media. He's a millionaire. Someone was doubting, I think it was Raymond Jones. I think he was doubting he's a millionaire. I know what YouTube pays because I have a YouTube channel. And if you do the math and you look at his views, he's definitely a millionaire. Trust me. Let's even shred on Jack. Wow, yeah. 5'9" Jack Eagles, very balanced physique. Heard Kai Green may compete at Masters Olympia. Well, Trailblazer, Kai made it clear that he would be interested in competing if read between the lines, it sounded like he wanted to get paid. He wants money. They're not going to pay him to do the Masters Olympia. The Masters Olympia does not make a lot of money. It's not the Mr. Olympia. It's held every other year. If it was a money-making show, and I know that they lost money on it in 2023 when they did the first one in Romania. It cost them more to produce and pay out the prize and all. They lost money on the show, put it that way. So hopefully they won't lose money in Tokyo this year, but it's not a huge money-making show. They don't have enough money to pay people to do it. And why should they pay Kai? The only way they would get their money back if they pay Kai, what is he? He wouldn't want a small amount of money. I'm guessing a minimum of like 50, maybe more like 100,000 just to show up. So how do they make that money back? How do they justify? Because business is about return on investment. If you put out $100,000 for a business expense, you do so in the expectation or the hopes that you're going to earn back $200,000 or $300,000. You want to make a return on your investment. You certainly don't want to lose money. So pay-per-view maybe, but I don't know how popular the Masters Olympia pay-per-view would be. Guys like me would get it, guys who are like in their 50s, but a lot of these fans who are 18 to 30 years old, I don't think a ton of them are going to pay $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 for a pay-per-view for the Masters Olympia to see a lot of guys who they're probably not even familiar with, the vast majority of people in the lineup. But they would know Brandon Curry. Brandon is confirmed, but a lot of the competitors, they wouldn't even know who they were. So Jack is only like 21 or 22. Wow. Saying that he looks like that. I mean, I'll show you. I did a whole video on this guy, Hosema. Hosema is 23 now. He's the same age as Sullick. And last year, he won all his shows. He won 4 shows last year. And he was still 22. He didn't turn 23 until the week after the Olympia. So he was 6th place at his first Olympia. He's from Spain, Jose Manuel Munoz. 22 years old here and everything you're looking at. And yeah, he's fantastic. And so this is someone who's the same. Sam just turned 23 this year, earlier in the year. So they're very much the same age. But this guy is just genetically, he's so much better than Sam. And I heard people say, well, he's on a lot more gear. I mean, you have no idea of knowing how much gear this guy uses versus Sam. And Sam's body is riddled with acne. So for you to think that Sam Sulek is not on plenty of PEDs, I think you're being delusional because, and they said, he's in middle America, so he probably has a hard time getting the right drugs, which is so silly. Come on, guys. You think Sam Sulek? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even presenting the video. Let me share the screen again. Yeah, this is Jose Manuel Munoz. So, yeah. In these shots, he was still 22 years old. He turned 23 a week later. He's got great bicep peaks. Crazy muscle quality. I did a whole video on him because I was, people got mad because I was comparing him to Sam. And the title was, he's better than Sam. Well, he's way better than Sam. And it's not that, I think a lot of it's genetic. I think he's genetically just has superior genetics to Sam. Look at that back. Every freaking fiber in this guy's back, in the lower back, you can see clearly. Amazing. Yeah. I like how he's got the Christmas tree there. So that's Josema. I think I'm going to find one good shot of him and just leave it up. Because he's fantastic. Fantastic. Is that black and white? I think he's trying to make it look old school. That's his best pose, that twisting side relax pose. But just the overall shape and quality are just astonishing on this guy. Where's the shot I wanted to leave it with? Oh, that was before the diet and after the diet. Josema is just a beast. They call him Josema Beast for good reason. I want to leave it on that back shot, but I'll just leave it there. All right. Get back to your comments, guys. Back to your comments. That's what we're here for. I'm Kate. Who you like in Detroit Men's Open? Oh, you're late. You're not Kate. You're Dan Dillon. What's up, Dan? I got Bonac winning. Probably Bonac. Sad all these fitness people make more than the real bodybuilders. It's not sad. It's just the way the world is. I mean, can't get mad about it. Like, why does, I don't know, Taylor Swift make more money than someone who's probably a better singer than her? It is what it is. National Olympia should be part of the regular Olympia Open division only. I thought they should have it with the Olympia the same weekend, but if there's so much going on already, they have all those divisions for the Olympia, 12 divisions now. Plus, they have the amateur Olympia going on. It's just too much. Thank you, Kalyan. Your buddy Jose is retired. You aren't biased? Yeah, he is retired. But I used to be kind of. Got it, Connor. Sam is trained with the best guys. Mr. Rose, he's going to be just crazy. Cycle with top guys. No, I mean, Sam has access to anything he wants. Let's be real. He's got all the money in the world that you would need for any kind of PEDs. He knows everyone in the industry. Anybody would help him out. He coached himself, but any coach would be very, very happy to work with Sam Sulek. They would love to. Prep coaches, posing coaches, they would love to be associated with him. He's a superstar. Opener is going to have an issue in a couple of years. A lot of bodybuilders, men's physique class week are moving up to open division. No, I don't think Open's going to have any problems. We got a really good group of open guys right now. I think the Pittsburgh Pro is going to show you some things with. I hope Nick Walker is going to be looking fantastic. Martin, good Vito, Krizo. No, I don't think Open's in any danger, guys. I think it's in a good place right now. Bios from Fiji Islands are getting their hands on the best gear. Fiji Islands. Oh, I think you're making a point that Ohio, yeah, because he's in the Midwest. I mean, come on, guys. Anyone in the U.S. with money and connections can get anything they want. Anything. Trust me. It's not a problem. I talked about it a few minutes ago, Dan. I think Keon will move to Open in a couple of years, and I predict he will become Mr. Olympia in 3 or 4 years. Thank you, Kellyanne. Yeah, he's doing his first show. My son's very, very natural. He's also dealing with ulcerative colitis for the last 6 years. since he was diagnosed. I don't know if he had it longer than that. Same, I'll remember him from now on. Very impressive. Yeah, look at the back shots on him. William Bonac, compact version of Kai Green. Kai was better. I'll be real with you, but they're in the same mold. They have a lot of similarities. Kai and Bonac. How many athletes are in the Olympia? I think they had something like 350 athletes in the Olympia. A lot of athletes in the Olympia. Good Vito, arguable beat Martin last year in Detroit Pro. Is he competing again? I have not heard. Someone said that. Hello? Who's knocking on my door? I heard that Aceto might have confirmed it. I haven't heard anything. Good Vito. Oh, well. This is 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. So looks like he's already pretty damn lean if he was only getting in shape for Pittsburgh. So I think we might see Good Vito. Now, the list comes out early next week, Monday, Tuesday at the latest. I'm going to do a full preview once the whole list is out with Giles for Power Hour, Giles Tiger Thomas. But right now, I haven't seen any indications that Good Vito is confirmed for the show. But he is. Oh, what's this? Yeah, I mean, he's confirmed for Pittsburgh, but he is not confirmed for anything else right now. In my opinion, why, Nick? I mean, I don't know. I've heard fake gear, heard his body wasn't responding, some sort of health issue. Only Nick and his coach at the time, Matt Jansen, they're the only ones who know the truth. And whatever narrative or story that they put out there may or may not be the actual reason. We don't know. Has there ever been a 3-division champ like Classic Z, 212 and Open? No, there is not. We've only had 212 and Open champs so far. And Derek's the only one who did it. But no one's ever won 3 different divisions as Olympia anyway. Don't know if I'm going to New York Pro yet, Dan. Don't know. Not sure. As he's going for Masters. No, I'm all done. Trust me. 350 closest to represent men's class with each division in 24. I have 350 athletes, close to 300 athletes have represented men's classic physique. Well, they have like 60 guys every year. So I don't know what you mean by 300. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, Colin. Going to any of these shows? Don't know. I'd like to say yes, but I don't know. Cool. Well, I've been going for almost an hour here, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. Get to some other work that I got to do. And I appreciate you guys all watching. And remember, we're going to be doing a watch party for the Detroit Pro. That is happening March 29th, a week from Saturday. I'll be doing a watch party right here on this channel. And it's going to be a free live stream available on the Fuad Abiyad Media channel. So looking forward to that. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be putting out a new episode tomorrow with Giles of Power Hour. So check us out tomorrow. And guys, I thank you all for watching so much. And I'll talk to you all later. Peace out. Oh, I still got to hit this.